Laura Poole filling in for Beck Simmons today. Great to have your company. And we're about to chat with an author who hails from Gippsland and is preparing for the release of his fourth novel. I'm talking about Dean Mays. He's an ICU nurse turned author, originally from Maui. And his latest book is set in our very own Walhalla. And I don't know about you, but I reckon if I was writing a book set in Gippsland, Walhalla would be a pretty good place to start. Dean Mays, good morning and welcome to ABC Gippsland. Thank you for your time. Tell me, why Walhalla as the setting for your fourth novel, The Artisan Heart?
Oh, hi Laura. Thanks very much for welcoming me to ABC Gippsland. Walhalla's really had a special place in my heart and my life, pretty much my entire life. I think from the time I was about 4 years old, I used to go up there with my dad quite regularly, either camping or visiting people that we knew up there, and we did a lot of hiking around there as well. And from that very early age, I came to sort of, it got into my blood, it got into my soul, and it's never really left me. So when it came time to start thinking about this new novel, I kind of asked myself the question, where could I go? And I decided to basically go home and portray something that had always been special to me. So it seemed a natural fit.
Did you actually come home physically during any stage of the writing process?
I did, yeah. I've spent quite a few weekends up at Walhalla during the writing, mainly taking photographs and film footage, and just making notes about the different buildings in the town that I wanted to sort of portray. And it was mainly just sort of reconnecting with everything that I'd sort of felt over the years about Walhalla. So, so I was actually home just recently, and I managed to sneak up there for another little recce.
And you've got the orange leaves on the front cover of the book, which is... yeah, it's how Walhalla looks right now.
That's right. Yeah, I guess because the book sort of starts at the end of summer, sort of going into autumn actually, and it sort of kind of the story sort of takes place over the few months of autumn and winter. So when my publisher came to me with the design, it just seemed right from the get-go. So. And the railway tracks that feature on the cover as well, that was actually kind of a last-minute addition, courtesy of my 8-year-old daughter, who...
would love the train there.
yeah. So she's been on the train a few times in Walhalla, and so she always associates the train with Walhalla. So she mocked up her own little cover, which we liked so much. My publisher decided to include the railway tracks in the cover design as well. So,
yeah, lovely. Well, all Gippslanders that link will be apparent immediately. I'm speaking with Dean Mays. He's an author, originally from Maui. His fourth book, The Artisan Heart, due out later this year, is set in Walhalla. Now, Dean, it is a romance novel, but you write across a range of genres, from family drama to thriller. What did you enjoy about writing a romance novel?
It didn't... I'm not sure that I started out with the intention of writing a romance novel. I think that the romantic elements of the novel kind of crept in gradually, and I kind of realised about halfway into it that, this is what this is. So, but, even though I've crossed genres, like you've said, the common thread to all my books is that I really like character pieces. So I really like to get a handle on the characters that I'm portraying and bringing them to life on the pages. So, and that's a very similar thing that you'll find in all my books. But the fact that this became a romance kind of occurred late in the piece where I just sort of felt that was the direction it was going in. So, so it's not the typical sort of mushy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the strong female character in the book, can you describe her for us?
Yeah, well, so her name's Isabel, and Isabel's this young-ish single mother who has returned to Walhalla after being in the city, and she's escaped a kind of a fairly violent past, and she's managed to scrape together enough money to buy the old bakery in Walhalla, which people who are familiar with the town will know is Elliott's Bakery, and she's decided that she's going to revivify that business as an actual bakery, because that's the one sort of skills that's in her kit bag that she's got from that she can, make a future out of. So she's very independent, and she has a daughter named Genevieve who is about 7 years old, and Genevieve's actually profoundly deaf. And so even though Genevieve can't hear, she's learned sign language, so Isabel's learned sign language as well. So the pair of them together have got this very sort of independent way of going about their lives, and they don't they don't kind of accept help easily, and they like to do things for themselves. So so that's sort of very much how Isabel becomes this kind of prominent, independent woman. And who is Isabel's love interest? The love interest is Hayden. So Hayden actually starts out as the central character. So Hayden's he's a brilliant paediatrician from over here in Adelaide. He's as I say, he's brilliant. He's a bit socially awkward. He's not good in social situations. He's married to a very ambitious woman named Bernadette, who's an event planner over here. And, after he's slogged it out, by day in the paediatric emergency department, he's then required to sort of attend these lavish parties that are put on by his wife, Bernadette, and, kind of be the social butterfly that he's just not capable of being. And during the events of the story, he kind of fails to turn up to one of these parties because of a traumatic incident at work, and he eventually comes home to find Bernadette's actually in bed with another man. So his life sort of is... So that drives him to Walhalla. Yeah, well, he's got nowhere to go. Like, he's even though he's been in Adelaide a while, he hasn't really got friends of his own. He doesn't know very many people, and the only option he feels that he has is to return to his family home in Walhalla, which has sort of stood idle for many years. His parents have passed away, so he's kind of on his own. So, so he makes this flight across country to Walhalla, and he actually reconnects with, some colourful characters in the township that were, quite influential when he was growing up. So he sort of has to start over in this town, and his first sort of encounter with Isabel actually becomes by way of Genevieve. She turns up at his house one day quite angry because she feels that he's kidnapped her teddy bear. Okay, what a meeting. And so they have this confrontation that Nellie sees her getting run over by one of the townsfolk because she sort of stomps out into the middle of the road, and then that's the reveal that Genevieve's deaf, and all of a sudden Hayden's able to communicate with her because he knows sign language because his mother was deaf. So Dean, I'm thinking it would be wonderful to maybe we can catch up with you and broadcast in Walhalla closer to the actual release of this book later this year and visit some of the old buildings that make an appearance in your book. Do something like that. Wouldn't that be fun? That would be fun, throughout the story, like I've really tried to make Walhalla as much a character as the the human characters in the story. So it does have its own
own.
Yeah, so the prominent landmarks are featured quite strongly in there, and there's a lot of affection for how I've sort of portrayed them. So yeah.
Dean, I'm going to have to leave it there for now, but as I said, please let us know when you're back in town, and maybe we can catch up with you up there at Walhalla. And good luck with all the preparation for the release of this fourth novel, The Artisan Heart. We'll look out for it.
Thanks very much, Laura.
Dean Mays, an author who now lives in Adelaide, originally from Maui, but The Artisan Heart set in Walhalla. And you'll be able to check that book out later this year. You're on ABC Gippsland, and it is 9 to 11. In just a tick, we'll be giving you some tips for handmade Mother's Day gifts.